There are lots of pets for you to tame within World of Warcraft as a hunter, but a bit less commonly known is there are actually quite a lot of bosses for you to tame too. So in this video I'm going to run through 10 hunter pets that are cool or unique that you can tame that are bosses. The first pet up is going to be the Battle-Hardened Duggle Fenrir, and to get this pet you need to go and do Halls of Valor Mythic on your own. This was introduced in Legion and it was intended to be like a solo challenge for hunters. But at 120 you should have no problem soloing this. If you are coming and trying to do this at 110, then you know it's still going to be a challenge where you're going to need some gear from Legion to be able to do it. But at 120 you should just be able to run through the dungeon. So you'll want to head over to Stormheim in Legion Broken Shores, and there you'll find on the right side the Halls of Valor. Head over there, make sure your dungeon difficulty is set to Mythic, and then head inside. Once inside, you'll need to kill the first boss. You could run through all the trash, feign death to the first boss if you don't really want to deal with it. Kill down the first boss and then head up. Once you get up, you'll have either a left path or a right path. You want to take the right path, and as you're traveling down to the right hand side, you'll be able to find a portal. You go through the portal and you'll be in kind of like an outdoor area. In this outdoor area, if you head a little bit down the path, you'll see footprints on the ground. These are dog footprint or wolf footprints, I should say. Follow these and Fenrir will either be on the right side or the left side. Just go on which side the footprints are. Find Fenrir, DPS it down, and then eventually it will go immune and run back to its den. So you want to follow it to its den. It doesn't matter if it's doing the lick wounds or whatever, just get there, start DPSing it, and then kill it down. Once it has been killed, the cave directly behind Fenrir, you'll find it inside as a neutral mob that you can now tame. The only reason it wouldn't be tameable or there is if you brought someone else with you or you're not on mythic difficulty. As long as you've done those two things, and of course you're a hunter. If you're not a hunter, you're not going to be able to tame this. As long as it's in the cave, you can begin the tame. There's nothing crazy to know about the tame. You just basically tame it. And as this is a wolf, Marksman, Beast Mastery, and Survival can all get this pet. The next pet up is going to be the Devil Saw Thok, and it's kind of cool because it's got this kind of weird armor, very unique appearance to it. And you'll find Thok in Siege of Orgrimmar. As it is a Devil Saw though, you will need to be Beast Mastery to tame this pet, so do keep that in mind. And then we're going to head over to Siege of Orgrimmar to start this tame. You can do Siege of Orgrimmar on normal, heroic, or mythic, it doesn't matter. And you'll find Siege of Orgrimmar within the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, which is found in Pandaria. So head over there, head inside the dungeon, and this footage is from 8.2 and below, but in 8.3 the area will change a little bit and there'll be water where we are currently now. But if you swim down to the same exact spot, the portal will still be there to get into Siege of Orgrimmar, just in case you're confused for the future. So once you're inside, you'll want to run through this raid, and if you're on normal or heroic, it shouldn't be that big of a challenge. Honestly, on mythic, it won't be that big of a challenge either, if you are a 120 character. At 110 and below, it does get a bit more tricky, especially on mythic. But run through the dungeon. The first boss is fairly straightforward, just kill it and then DPS the blobs. The next boss, also fairly straightforward, just be careful to not kill it too quickly, as if you do, it will bug out and then despawn. Just slowly DPS one of the guys down at a time, let it do its transition, and then move on to the next one and let that one do its transition, and repeat that on all three of them until they've both transitioned twice each. And once that's happened, you can kill them. Head on through. The next two bosses, nothing really to note. Then you'll get to Galakraz, and this is fairly straightforward too. Just kill all the ads that are coming, defend the gnomes or the goblins that are working on the tower. Once the tower is open, head up and use the cannon on Galakraz. You'll need to shoot it twice with the same cannon to get it down. If any of the other drakes do get in the way, it will slow it a little bit. So you'll need to redo the cannons again on the same Galakraz. But yep, shoot it consecutively twice and it will drop down. Next up is Iron Juggernaut. Do make sure you loot Iron Juggernaut though, as this will drop an item for us to get another pet from Siege of Orgrimmar. So it's definitely worth doing if you're after one of the mechanical scorpion pets. I'll throw up one of them now, and there'll be links in the description with coordinates for the paints. You basically need 3 items to make one of these scorpions. You need the item from Juggernaut, item from Siege Master or Siege Crafter, and then a paint bucket. And there's 4 different colors, 4 different paint buckets. So the locations for the paint buckets will be in the description below. Moving on, you'll kill the next few bosses. There's nothing really to note there, and then you'll eventually get to this grand hall where you'll run down. And you'll be able to turn to the right. You'll do the loot plus spoils of Pandaria, which requires you to click all the boxes on one side. Once you've filled up the bar, click the lever, take the crane or whatever, the little hook to the other side, repeat that, click the lever, and then repeat that for the final 2 rooms. Also is worth noting there is a paint bucket in here that you can only get during like this set of fights. Once you leave this area, you won't be able to get it again, so do keep that in mind too. Then you'll head over to Thok and you'll finally be able to kill the trash here. Thok will be attackable and you'll just do the tame. Nothing too special you need to know for the tame. Just simply tame it as long as you are beast mastery and you will get yourself another pet. And as I said, if you do want the mechanical scorpion pet, then you can go and kill Siege Crafter. And then also you will need the mechanical tame item as well that allows you to tame mechanical pets, unless you are a goblin, gnome, or mecha gnome. Those 3 races have that by default. The third pet up is going to be Horadon, and honestly this pet, when I was playing the 8.2 PTR, it nearly made me reroll Hunter. I really like this pet. I really do like how it's armored, and dire horns are pretty cool in general. I just thought it looked great. So to get this pet, first of all, if you aren't a Zandalari Troll, you will need the book that allows you to tame dire horns. To get this item, you want to head over to the Isle of Giants, found north of Kunlai Summit in Pandaria. You'll head over there and you want to be killing the Dinomancers. There's some Zandalari Dinomancers on this island, and killing them will have a fairly low chance of dropping the book, but there's a fair few of them. There'll be a map up now showing you the locations of the Zandalari Dinomancers, and just keep killing these until you get the book, unless you're a Zandalari Troll yourself, as I mentioned before. They get it by default. Once we've got this, we can head over to the Isle of Thunder, and if you've never been to the Isle of Thunder before, you'll want to head to the Shadowpan Garrison in Pandaria in Townlong Steppe, and just kind of north or south of the Shadowpan Garrison, you'll find a Alliance or a Horde representative who will give you a quest chain that will take you to the Isle of Thunder. Once there, you want to head to kind of the middle section, and you'll find the Throne of Thunder, which is the raid that we need. Head inside. You can do this on normal or heroic 10 or 25 man, it doesn't matter. Just head inside and start clearing through the raid. It's fairly linear for this point, so just kill the first boss and then make your way to the second boss. Once at the second boss, Horadon will spawn and you can begin the tame. Nothing really special you need to know here, and Horadon is not a beast mastery only pet, so you can tame this as beast mastery, marksman, or survival. Next up, we're going to have the Deformed Hydra, which is Chimeron, and this is another interestingly looking, cool and unique pet. To get this, we want to head over to Blackwing Descent, which we're going to find kind of near Searing Gorge. There'll be the Blackrock Mountain, and at the top part of Blackrock Mountain, so you will need flying to get up there, you'll find the raid Blackwing Descent. Head inside, once again 10 man, 25 man, doesn't really matter. It might be worth doing it on 25 man just so that you don't kill it by accident, which is something that can happen on this fight. So you may want to flick it onto 25 man, but it doesn't make too big of a difference. Either way, head inside and then you want to kill the boss on the left hand side, and then the boss on the right hand side, and once those are both active, you'll be able to take the elevator down to the middle section. Once you're at the middle section, you want to take the left hand side path, and the first room you come across will be the boss room that we need. Head inside there and you will find the boss. So this is tameable, and it does need to be DPS down to, I think it's below 30% or 20% before it's tameable. So to make that happen without killing it, I would recommend you take off quite a bit of gear. If you've got a lower eye level bow or whatever, throw that on. But either way, just strip down as much gear as you can and then begin DPSing it down. Make sure you dismiss your pet too, which you'd need to do to tame Chimeron anyway. But get rid of your pet, as it's just going to be doing damage that you don't need it to do. And just reduce the damage as much as you can. Take it very slow, DPS it down, and I'd take off more gear rather than less just to be sure. You shouldn't really die to this anyway, so strip down most of your gear and then whittle it down, get it to the point you can tame it, and then do the tame. The next pet on our list is actually going to be multiple pets, so for doing this you're going to be getting 3 or 4 pets at once. Yeah, that's pretty cool, and the pet itself looks quite nice as well. It's the pure coloured Quillons, and this is an alternative to going out and getting Portent, I think it's called, which is found in the Vale. It's like a rare hunter pet, but instead of going and farming that and camping after it, what we can do instead is head over to Mogushan Vaults, found in Kunlai Summit, and you'll head inside the raid. If you do it on 10 man, there'll only be 3 bosses active at once. If you do it on 25 man, there'll be 4. You want to do it on 25 and head inside. Head right to the back of the room and we'll find the purple, the blue, the red, and the green Stone Guard boss, and you can just tame them all. You can tame one at a time, and it does kind of make the fight bug out a little bit once you've tamed them all. But yeah, you can get all 4 of them, so do make sure you've got plenty of pet space if you do want them all. And as I said, they look pretty good, so worth getting if you don't want to camp after the rare spawn. As I'm feeling generous, I'm going to throw in another boss that's going to have multiple pets we can tame from it, and that is going to be the Sifl Colossi bug trio. So that is Yarge, Vem, and Kree from AQ40. And these all have different color appearances to them, and they are available out in Silithus, but the rare spawns instead. So this just negates having to camp after a rare spawn, which obviously is going to save you time. So head over to Silithus, found in Kalimdor, and then once you're there, you want to go to AQ40, which is the raid on the right hand side. Head inside, go through the trash, kill the first boss, and then head deeper into AQ. Once there, you'll kind of have this spiral staircase, and at the bottom of it, the very bottom, you'll find this room off to the left. You'll head inside, get rid of the trash, and then you'll have the boss trio, the bug trio, and you can just start taming these one at a time. They are a little bit annoying because they do have CC behind them, so you're going to probably have to spend a little bit of time recasting the tames because you'll be interrupted here and there as well. But eventually we'll tame all 3, and that will be another 3 boss tames down. The next pet up is pretty damn cool looking. I really do like the whole Zandalari pet theme, and this is one that Undaster has. It's a really nice looking devil sub. As it is a devil soul, you will need to be Beastmaster to tame it, but unfortunately this is by far the hardest boss to tame. The reason behind that is it's not that Undaster itself is difficult, you literally just click tame and get the pet. What makes it difficult is a world boss that drops a mount. So it is pretty much killed the second it spawns, and that makes it very difficult for someone to tame it. But if you're up for the challenge, you're up for trying to battle people for the tame, or just hope that no one's around when it spawns, then you want to head over to the Isle of Giants where we were previously, and Undaster will spawn pretty much smack bang in the middle in the massive tar pit. Head up there and just wait it out and hope that you can get the tame before someone else gets the tame or before it's brutally murdered. Next tame up is going to be Angus, and this is going to come from Blackwing Lair. Now this is a core hound, so unfortunately once again you will need to be beast mastery for this. But to get this pet you'll want to head over to Blackwing Lair, which we'll find in the Blackrock Mountain. You'll head inside Blackrock Mountain, and if you head up towards the dungeons where you can see now, take a right and head down this corridor, and there'll be an orb for you to click on. Click on the orb and that will take you inside Blackwing Lair. Once inside you'll be able to clear out the trash and start the first boss, and just make sure you don't kill the dragon on the opposite side of the room, because if you do kill him you'll have what happens to me and you'll die. So keep him alive, use the orb to control him, and once you're controlling him you'll basically just want to make him run around the room and break all of the eggs. Once all the eggs are broken then you can defeat the boss and move on. Next boss is fairly straightforward again, just talk to him, eventually he'll become aggro and then kill him, and then you'll make your way through the gauntlet. And eventually you'll make your way through the final section of the raid, where we'll be able to summon and tame Angus. Nothing special you need to know about this tame, just make sure you don't accidentally kill it like I nearly do, and then make your tame and you'll have yourself a new pet. Now this is also a rare spawn found kind of walking around the inner side of Blackrock Mountain. It is a rare though, and it is often killed or tamed instantly, so kind of hard to get. Angus is the way easier alternative to that kind of look, and it does look pretty good. The next pet on our list is going to be the Son of the Beast, and this is another core hound, so you will need to be Beastmaster. And you may be thinking this just looks like a box standard core hound, and you'd be pretty much right, but it does actually have a unique appearance to it, believe it or not. It is a slightly different shade of red compared to the other core hounds, so it does make it unique. To get this pet we will need to head to Upper Blackrock Spire, which we'll find pretty damn close to Blackwing Lair where we just were. Instead of taking the right down that path, we'll head up and inside, and then we'll take the left to the Upper Blackrock Spire. Once inside, you'll clear out the first rooms. You need to clear out all these kind of individual box rooms, and that will unlock the door. Then you'll need to click all of these kind of cage or trap looking things. That'll activate the boss. You'll be able to kill the boss. Then we can head up into the kind of arena area, and we'll just basically kill the waves of mobs and kill the boss. And then we'll head into the next set of rooms, and you want to take a left here, and we'll find Son of the Beast hid way off into the corner in kind of like the dark shadows. So there, run over there, and you'll be able to tame the Son of the Beast. Nothing special you need to know, it's a fairly straightforward tame. Just click tame and you get yourself the slightly different coloured core hound. Next up we're going to have these 2 turtles, so another 2 for 1, so even though this is 10 pets you're actually getting like 20. I'm so generous. These are going to be from Black Fathom Depths, and there's going to be 2 different turtle variants that we're going to be able to tame. Both of them have unique appearances, and it is also the first boss of the Black Fathom Depths, so you're not going to have to spend too long to get this. To get this pet you'll want to head over to Ashenvale, found in Kalimdor, And off to the left hand side, the kind of upper left hand side, we'll find the Black Fathom Depths entrance. You'll want to head there, head down, swim down, and you'll find a little entrance you can get into. Then basically just follow this dark cave along, and eventually you will make it to the entrance of Black Fathom Depths. Head inside, normal heroic, there is none of that. So just head in and you'll be put onto the base difficulty. Then you'll head across the water. You'll have a little bit of a jumping puzzle. It's kind of weird to call it that because it isn't really, but some people do fail it. So just make sure your jumps are correct. You'll head over to the other side and you'll make it to the first boss. And there'll be the main turtle which you can tame, and then just behind him his son, which you'll also be able to tame. And both of these have, as far as I know, unique appearances. Not that special, but they're still both unique, and they are bosses that you can tame. Before we close out the video, I do have one more bonus pet for you to tame, and that is Tortoise. Head in Throne of Thunder, and oh well, unfortunately not. Unfortunately, Tortoise itself isn't tameable, but this appearance is the only way of getting the way that Tortoise looks. So that's why I didn't want to include it in the main 10, but I really like how this turtle looks, so I felt like I had to include it. So to get this pet, you'll want to head over to Surma, and there'll be a mob called the Lowland Mana Shell. Now this is a kind of rare spawn of the Lowland hard shells that you'll find in this area. Bunch of turtles that you'll be able to run around killing, and eventually it will respawn back as the Lowland Mana Shell. As it is a turtle, you can be Beast Mastery, Marksman, or Survival to tame this. And there's nothing special you need to know to tame it once it has spawned. Just have a look around and see if there are any. Before you do get started on killing the hard shells as well, there may already be a mana shell like there was for me. So if there is, go tame that. If not, start killing the hard shells, and eventually they will respawn as a mana shell instead. Get yourself that little bonus pet. And once again, I've mentioned this in multiple videos, but it has one of the best feign deaths in the game as well. So if you have the pet kind of toy thing where you can make it feign death, then make sure you do that because it looks amazing. So that does close out the video. Hopefully this was some interest to you and you've gone and got yourself some new pets. Look out for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.